The city had just awakened under the soft golden morning light. The streets of downtown Los Angeles were slowly coming to life as shopkeepers rolled up their shutters one by one. The aroma of fresh coffee and warm pastries drifting through the air. Towering proudly in the heart of the financial district stood Liberty National Bank, a symbol of wealth, power, and prestige. Its massive glass facade reflected the rising sun, giving the building an almost majestic glow. An elderly man named Henry walked slowly but steadily toward the bank's grand entrance. He was in his early 60s, with silver white hair, deep wrinkles etched across his kind face, and a gentle demeanor that spoke of a lifetime of honest labor. He wore ordinary clothes, faded blue jeans, an old checkered shirt, and a pair of worn-out sneakers that had seen better days. Despite his humble appearance, there was a quiet dignity in his steps. As Henry reached the entrance, the on-duty security guard fixed a sharp, disdainful gaze upon him. The guard looked him up and down with clear contempt, his eyes silently asking, "What does a homeless-looking man want in a place like this?" Henry felt the stare but chose to ignore it. Lost in his own thoughts, he gently pushed open the heavy glass door and stepped inside. The moment he entered, the contrast was striking. The bank's luxurious, centrally air-conditioned interior felt freezing compared to the mild morning outside. Marble floors gleamed under bright lights, expensive perfume lingered in the air, and well-dressed elite customers moved about with an air of importance. Every pair of eyes, from the bank staff to the wealthy clients, turned toward Henry. They stared at him as if an alien had mistakenly wandered into their royal palace. Whispers and judgmental glances followed him as he walked slowly toward the customer service counter. Behind the counter sat Sarah, a woman in her early 30s. She had sharp features, perfectly styled hair, and an expression of perpetual irritation and arrogance. Instead of attending to customers, she was completely absorbed in her expensive iPhone, scrolling through social media with a bored look on her face. Henry stopped politely in front of her and said in a soft, respectful voice, "Ma'am, I need to withdraw some money from the bank." Sarah looked up lazily, her face twisting with annoyance. In a harsh and rough tone, she replied, "Then go withdraw it." "Why are you telling me?" "Stand in line at the teller counter over there." Henry remained calm. "Ma'am, I want to withdraw the money using a check." Sarah's irritation grew. She flashed a fake smile and said mockingly, "Oh, you want to use a check, and how much exactly do you want to withdraw?" $100, $200, Henry answered simply. "I need to withdraw $100,000 in cash, ma'am." For a moment, Sarah looked stunned, as if she had fallen from the sky. Then she burst into loud, piercing laughter that echoed throughout the entire bank. Her laughter was so mocking and loud that customers at nearby counters turned their heads to watch the spectacle. Still laughing, she said in a sharp, insulting voice, $100,000. "Are you joking, old man? Did you come here this early in the morning to make fun of us? Just look at yourself in the mirror. Have you ever seen that much money in your entire life? Where do all these vagabonds and homeless people come from? Get out of here right now. Don't waste my time or the bank's time with your nonsense." Henry's face turned red with deep shame and humiliation. In a trembling voice, he said, "Ma'am, why are you speaking to me like this? I have an account in this bank. Please, at least check the check once." But Sarah had already lost all patience. She started shouting loudly, "I don't need to check anything. How dare you enter this VIP bank? This is not a place for low-class people like you. Only the biggest corporate clients and wealthy customers come here. You don't even deserve to have an account in this bank. Get out right now or I'll call the guard and have you thrown out by the neck." By now, Henry's humiliation had drawn a large crowd. People stood in a circle watching the scene like it was free entertainment. But no one stepped forward to help the old man. Just then, the branch manager, Mr. Vance, emerged from his luxurious glass cabin. He was a middle-aged man known throughout the bank for his arrogance and his habit of flattering only rich clients. Sensing the commotion, he walked over with an angry expression. "What is going on here?" he demanded. Sarah quickly explained, pointing at Henry. "This homeless man says he wants to withdraw $100,000. Mr. Vance's face turned red with rage. He charged toward Henry and shouted, "Hey, old man, are you deaf? When we tell you to get out, why don't you leave? Is this a homeless shelter? Do you think anyone can just walk in here?" Henry pleaded in a soft voice. "Sir, please believe me, I am not homeless. I have my savings in this bank." Reason. Without another word, he shoved Henry hard in the chest. The elderly man stumbled backward, lost his balance, and crashed heavily onto the cold marble floor. His head hit the ground with a painful thud, and his checkbook flew out of his hand, sliding across the floor. For a few seconds, the entire bank fell into complete silence. Then Mr. Vance roared at the security guard, "What are you standing there for? Grab this old man and drag him out right now." The guard immediately rushed over, grabbed Henry's arms roughly, and dragged him out through the massive glass doors in front of everyone. Henry looked back one last time. He saw Sarah smiling with devilish victory, Mr. Vance adjusting his tie proudly as he walked back to his cabin, and the other customers returning to their business as if nothing had happened. Outside the bank, amidst the dust, noise of traffic, and indifferent passersby, Henry sat on the sidewalk, completely broken. Tears of helplessness streamed down his wrinkled face. He had earned every single dollar of his savings through decades of blood, sweat, backbreaking labor, and unwavering honesty. Today, all that dignity had been crushed in a matter of minutes. After sitting there for a long time, Henry stood up with heavy steps and began walking home. Every step felt like carrying a mountain of pain and humiliation. When he reached his modest home, he locked the door, slumped onto the floor, and burst into loud, uncontrollable sobs. He cried for a long time until the heavy weight in his chest lightened slightly, but the fire of humiliation continued to burn inside him. He wondered whether he should tell his son Ryan about this incident. Ryan was always so busy with his high-stakes corporate life in New York. Henry didn't want to worry him, but then another thought came to him. If he stayed silent today, tomorrow these arrogant people might humiliate 10 more innocent, hard-working individuals. This injustice could not be allowed to continue. With trembling hands, Henry picked up his phone and called his son Dot at that moment. Ryan was in the middle of an important multi-million-dollar international business meeting in New York. When he saw his father's name flashing on his personal phone, he was surprised. He politely excused himself from the investors and stepped out of the meeting room. "Yes, Dad. Is everything okay?" Ryan asked in his usual confident tone. From the other end came Henry's wet, heavy, broken voice. Ryan immediately sensed something was terribly wrong. After listening to the entire painful story, the insults, the pushing, the public humiliation, Ryan's blood began to boil. Every sob from his father felt like a knife piercing his heart. "Dad, please don't cry. I'm coming right now," Ryan said firmly. Henry tried to stop him, but Ryan's voice left no room for argument. "No meeting, no deal. Nothing in this world is more important than my father's respect. I'm booking the first flight to Los Angeles." Ryan immediately returned to the meeting, apologized to everyone, and left. He instructed his assistant to arrange the earliest flight and headed straight to the airport. Throughout the journey, only images of his father's tearful, humiliated face and the arrogant bank staff flashed before his eyes. He made a silent vow. He would not only punish those responsible but teach them a lesson they would never forget. Late that night, when Ryan reached home, he found Henry asleep on the couch, his face still marked with exhaustion and pain. Ryan gently placed a hand on his father's shoulder. Henry woke up startled, and upon seeing his son, his eyes filled with tears once again. Ryan hugged him tightly. "That's enough, Dad. No more crying. Tomorrow morning, we are both going back to that bank together." The next morning, Ryan set aside his expensive designer suits. He wore a simple t-shirt and cheap pants, just like his father. They called a regular yellow cab instead of using any luxury car and headed to Liberty National Bank. As soon as they entered, the staff gave them the same disgusted looks. They walked straight to Sarah's counter. History repeated itself. Sarah mocked them again when she saw the check amount and laughed loudly. She threw the check back and sent them to Mr. Vance. They waited outside the manager's cabin for over an hour while rich clients walked in and out without any delay. Henry grew restless, but Ryan calmly asked him to wait just a little longer. Finally, Ryan stood up. His face had turned cold and hard. He ignored the assistant, pushed open the cabin door with force, and stepped inside with his father. Vance shouted in anger, but Ryan stood tall and powerful. When Vance insulted them again, Ryan made a call. Within moments, 6 men in black suits entered the cabin. Ryan sat down and revealed the truth in a commanding voice. "My name is Ryan. This is my father Henry, whom you humiliated and threw out yesterday. I am the majority shareholder and chairman of Liberty National Bank. This entire bank belongs to my father and me." The cabin fell into graveyard silence. Mr. Vance and Sarah turned pale with terror. Ryan played the previous day's CCTV footage, showing every insult and the violent push. Then he fired all three, Sarah, Mr. Vance, and the security guard, on the spot. Stepping out, Ryan addressed the entire staff in a thunderous voice, delivering a powerful lesson about respect, humanity, and true worth. Henry looked at his son with immense pride and said in a calm, profound voice, "Son, we built this bank to help ordinary people in their difficult times, not to insult them. Money and wealth are temporary, but a person's character and kindness remain with them forever." Holding his son's hand, Henry walked out of the bank with his head held high. The entire staff stood silently with bowed heads, making way for them. Outside under the open Los Angeles sky, Henry took a deep breath. Tears of pride rolled down his cheeks. Today, he was not crying because of humiliation, he was crying because of the immense pride he felt for his son, who had not only restored his father's honor, but had also taught a powerful lesson to an entire system blinded by arrogance. End of story, friends. How did you like this powerful story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If it touched your heart, please like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Your support keeps us motivated to bring you such meaningful content.